Now y'all know they get on my nerves over there at BET Plus because of how lazy they are. Like they'll put a show together, you see 3 episodes, and the next thing you know, the show just disappeared. You never hear from them again over there. But sometimes they be having pretty decent movies. And I just watched Fighting to Be Me, which is the Dwayne Curry story, and it actually was good. Now y'all know I'm not gonna spoil it for y'all in case you didn't see it, but if you did see it, we can come down and talk about it in the comments. So don't read the comments if you haven't seen it yet. But it was one thing that went on in the movie that is just about skimmed over all the time because of the subject matter, which is homosexuality in the Muslim community, or should I say the DL men in the Muslim community. And I'm from Philly, and I used to do hair, so I know a lot of people. And yeah, y'all better hope y'all secrets don't ever get out. But back to the movie before we get into that. So the story is basically about the guy Dwayne and how he went from being a drug addict to a scammer to a hairstylist to a stylist of the stars to jail to a cleaning company back to jail, and from being gay to being one of the girls and getting on hormones. And it just, the movie just took so many different directions and turns, and it was a very interesting story to say the least. But Dwayne had some interesting love interests and relationships, and one of them was with a Muslim guy that he met while he was styling celebrities. And it happened to be somebody who wanted to be his client that he got into a romantic situation with. And of course, Dwayne got played because the Muslim guy, he just couldn't commit to that lifestyle and being in love with Dwayne. Now, Dwayne preferred to go by she, but her family wasn't having it. Her lover wasn't having it. It appears as though her Muslim man wanted her to remain a man. Although he had no plans on committing to Dwayne, he still had his feelings about her taking the hormones and whatever. But how you gonna be trying to tell somebody what to do when you didn't even want to be with her? Her Muslim lover was basically just smashing and wanted to just keep it strictly sexual between them. I feel like the Muslim guy had no intentions on taking it any further than sex with her at all. She was more trying to be serious and wanting to be loved out loud, which you know that a man walking around wearing a kufi is not going to openly date you. Because that's one thing for sure. The Muslim faith, they don't play that at all. Like I remember one time in the city, a transgender woman went up in the masjid with some overgarments on and a niqab and all of that, and they caught her. And I don't know what happened after that, but I never saw or heard from the girl again. I don't know what happened, but they don't play that whatsoever. Now, this movie has some interesting executive producers, one of them being Judge Mathis, and his son was also in the movie, which I didn't even know that his son was a homosexual. Not that that's any of my business or it has anything to do with me. I just didn't know that, but I was really surprised when I saw his name up there, as the executive producer. I just wonder how all of this came about. Like, how did he get engulfed in this? Because y'all know that he was saying that he was one of the girls, too, after they seen that Christmas family photo that he had took. The people wasn't liking it. They was like, why is you sitting up there looking real suspicious in that little outfit that you wore, your outfit of choice? I don't know. The people just ain't like it. I don't know. But seeing his name roll down the credits, I was like, this took an interesting turn. But I had no clue that was his son in the movie either. And y'all know I had to take it a step further because I'm nosy like that. I had to Google, and it turns out that Judge Mathis' son actually has a husband too. So, yeah, they real serious about this thing. I like to use movies to talk about real life topics because it's kind of like when you talk about these topics in real time with real people, people get too emotional and I just don't be feeling like it. But I wonder, are the girls going to start being a little bit more open and start telling their stories about how many of these men that they actually do deal with, that are in the closet that are of the Muslim faith? Because some of them really are just using women for their likeness and to cover up who they really are. Like, I don't know if y'all remember Kata from the boxer that got caught doing that porn a few years ago, and it was a big situation in the city, but he was a Muslim guy as well. But they be loving the girls because remember when he tried to lie and say that, they drugged him. And when the porn company came out and was like, oh, we ain't drug you. Now you're going to have to take that back or we're going to take legal action against you because that's definitely not what happened. Then he came out and then the next thing you know, he had something going on with Sydney Starr shortly after that. Like they love the girls. But on the low though. Do y'all ever think it's going to be an open dialogue about that, or do y'all think that situation is just going to continue to fly under the radar? Because one thing I can say, if you are one of the girls, is that as long as you continue to allow them to hide you and keep their little secret, they're going to continue to do it because most of them don't just let the cat out the bag. The cat is normally yanked out the bag, and then it's all of this embarrassment and all of these shenanigans. Then they finally want to be with the person that they really want to be with, or live in their truth and be who they really are. But what y'all think about that?